So today I am going rather to discuss what is language universality. So before anything else, I should start first to know, or we should start first to know what is language. Language is a system of communication used by a particular country or locality. Stop it. Next is, we should know first what is universal. So when we say universal, it is done by all people or things in the world that is applicable to all. So it is not just only done or spoken, if ever, in language in a specific person, but also are all people in a community or a locality. And now, let's proceed to the language universality. It is a pattern that occurs systematically across natural languages, which is potentially true for all of them. So, for example, in one place, they talk or speak the same languages and uses one words for similar thoughts. It is also the principal method of human communication, consisting of words in a structured and conventional way. So, with regards to language universality, there are two kinds of language universality. The first one is absolute, the second is the implication. So, when we say absolute, it is applied to every known language and are quite few in number. Example, all language have pronouns. The second one is the implication. So applies to language with a particular feature that is accompanied by another feature. If a language has trial grammatical number, it also has dual grammatical number. So if there is an implication, there is also a non-implications. So when we say non-implications, you just have to state the existence or non-existence of one particular feature. So let's proceed to the universal properties of language. But before we proceed again, there are two kinds. The two kinds of universal language, or the language universality, which is the absolute and the implications, and other implications is the non-implication. So the first one of universal properties of language is the communicative competence. So when we say communicative competence, it is a term in linguistics which refers to a language user's grammatical knowledge of syntax, morphology, phonology, as well as social knowledge about how and when to use utterance appropriately. The second one is the grammatical competence. When we say grammatical competence, it is the mastery of the linguistic code. So the ability to recognize lexical, morphological, syntactical, and phonological feature of a language. Next is the reliance in context. So it is the meaning of sentence depends on the given context. So for example, from the word reliance is you have to rely on the context given. Next is the arbitrariness, the no enthusiastic relationship between the form of a word and its meaning. Next is descriptiveness, from the word descriptive. It is a continuous range of possible forms and sounds, bounded units, and gender. Next is recursion. It is a property of natural grammar, the repeated application of a recursion procedure or definition. The second to the last is the variability. So when we say variability, a speaker of a language uses to signal their social identities like geographical or social status. The last one is the modularity, a modular system that people produces and interpret language by using set of components, subsystems in a coordinate way. Example, phonetics, phonologies, and morphologies.